Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you're staying warm right now as I'm recording this. The wind is howling outside and it sounds extremely cold. So if you are stuck inside this week, or if you need something to do to keep your mind off how chilly it is outside, we are going to have a fun lesson where we learn about abstract portraits. So like abstract landscapes last week, it's kind of the same concept, but we're going to be drawing faces. So let's get started. This is fun. I say that a lot, but this is very fun and very relaxing too. I mean, check out the designs behind me, the artwork behind me. That looks like fun, doesn't it? I thought so. I'm bringing up my slides and then we will get started. All right. If you see Maggie and Molly, we're good. All right. Yes, Maggie and Molly, 1 minute they are quietly snuggling, the next minute they are duking it out on the carpet. Yes. So there they are, just like real sisters and just like sisters in real life for kids. They sometimes get along and sometimes, well, I don't even know what they're fighting over. They just decide to start wrestling. So we've been talking about abstract art. It focuses on color, shape, and line, but it does not look like anything you would see in real life. Now, this week we're going to start talking about the human face. And to do that, we need to learn a new word called portrait. Maybe you've heard of a portrait before, but a portrait is an artwork of someone's face or upper body. So it can be the face and the upper body as well. As you can see in these portraits on the right, here's George Washington. Here's the Mona Lisa, which we've talked about several times already this year. And this is a portrait, a self-portrait actually, of Vincent van Gogh. Now, if you have been to school for a couple years, you know, usually in the fall and then in the spring, you have a school portrait taken. Photography is an art form, folks, so you have had a portrait done of yourself at some point. So what is an abstract portrait? Well, an abstract portrait has the ideas that make up a person's face. So when you think of a face, you think of seeing eyes, nose, mouth, possibly ears and hair, the basics, but it's not drawn to be realistic. We're going to use geometric shapes. So we're going to focus on line, shape, circle, triangles, squares, all the things we talked about last week, colors, and like I just said, lines to be expressive. So you can experiment with different dotted lines, diagonal lines, curly lines, swirly lines. But our portrait, the part that represents the person, is going to stick to the basics and not look like anything you've ever seen before. Here are some examples of abstract portraits. This is by Emily Franz. And let's look at this for a minute. So I see eyes, I see this L shape that represents the nose, I see lips, and I think this is supposed to be the hair, the dots and the lines behind her. But now I've never seen a person that looks quite like this before. It's sectioned off, like we sectioned off our abstract landscape last week. And then in those different sections, we have different colors and different lines. We have zigzag lines, wavy lines, dotted lines, lines that look like waves, curly cues. There's really an unlimited number of options you could choose. Now, I love this one. This is by Sylvia Silberswig. I think I said that right. But she has another abstract portrait here. I think she has a mirror in her hand and it looks like a cat, maybe? I don't know. I know that looks like a cat behind her. But again, you notice that the eyes do not match in any way. We have a pink eye, we have a black eye. The nose and the different parts of the face are sectioned off to be different colors. And then she also includes some other faces as well, but you notice that we fill up the entire background, even though the emphasis is on the face, with different lines and shapes. And here are a few more. This is by Natik Jalil. I put this one in here because Valentine's Day is coming up. And this is in the shape of a heart, this abstract portrait. So I thought that was kind of neat. But again, the eyes are there. We see a nose and lips, but I mean, that's not arranged how you would see a face in real life. This is a fancy word or two that I'm going to teach you. Exaggerated proportions. Say that. Exaggerated proportions. You could really impress somebody sometime. When we draw an abstract portrait, we're using exaggerated proportions, and this is why. All right, what that means, if you exaggerate, that means you kind of stretch the truth, or you make things bigger than what they really are. So proportions are how things relate to each other as a whole. So let's look at this abstract portrait here. All right, the eyes are much bigger and popping out of the face, more so than you would ever see eyes on a person in real life. The lips are the same way, like they're drawn much bigger and much more exaggerated in their shape than what they are in real life. So these are not in proportion to the shape that is drawn for the face. They are coming off the shape, they're larger. You could even say the hair, the lines that are used for the hair are exaggerated as well. So exaggerated proportions like you see here in this abstract portrait just mean that things are drawn bigger and out of the size that they would normally be on the human face. So we're going to learn a little bit about different art style today. You've gotten a glimpse of it with the art I've already shown you, but it's called Cubism. And yes, if you see the word cube or you hear the word cube in Cubism, you would be correct. Cubism uses geometric shapes, we're using geometry in this art, and lines to create a face or image. It often shows two viewpoints. It doesn't have to, though. I'm going to give you an example of how it can show two viewpoints, but you don't have to do that. Meaning it shows the side view of a face and a front view of a face at the same time. So here's some example of cubism. I had to throw this in here because I love cats. As you can see, it's very geometric. It's a lot of straight lines, a lot of basic shapes that make up the representation of what you are drawing. And this is an example of a very abstract portrait. We see the lips, we see the eyes, and that's about all we can make out that would represent a real life face. But let me introduce you to our artist of the week, the leader of the Cubism style. His name is Pablo Picasso. That's a picture of Pablo Picasso. He was a painter and sculptor from Spain, and he helped create the Cubism style of art. He had some other helpers too that also created it with him, but he was best known for this. Pablo Picasso is one of the most well-known artists of all time. You may have heard his name before, but he is well known for this style of art. Let me show you where Spain is, the country where he is from. Here is Spain on the map. It's on the continent of Europe. Here's the Spanish flag, and this is just an example of the cityscape, a cityscape you may see in that country. So let's look at some of Pablo Picasso's abstract portraits. Okay, so again, we see the basic features of the face, like the eyes, the mouth, the ears, but it's not realistic. And they're really not drawn in proportion. Like the eyes are much, much larger than any other part of the face. He's using basic colors and shapes to create his representation of this person. Now, when I was talking about the two different viewpoints, if you look at this, it's kind of like a little bit of an optical illusion where you can see two faces in one, but this looks like the side profile of someone's face. And then this is supposed to kind of represent the front view. And then as you see here, they used wavy lines, and then some straight lines to make up the clothing and the hair of this person. Also, do you see how when they do an abstract portrait, you get to color block, which means kind of like we did last week with our Paul Klee landscape. You get to make certain sections, certain colors, or certain designs. You have a lot of freedom. And here's another example, kind of shows you how there's a side view and then a front view at the same time. A lot of basic colors. You do not have to shade or show a value. We're using very flat two-dimensional shapes or a two-dimensional look like we did last week. And then I thought I would show you this one too. That is Pablo Picasso's self-portrait done in the Cubist style or the abstract portrait style. So what we're going to do, we're going to create our own abstract portrait today. Now, don't worry about it looking like you. No one needs to know it's you, unless you want to tell them it's you. You could make an abstract portrait of anybody that you could possibly think of in your life, and nobody is going to know the difference because an abstract portrait doesn't represent us in real life very well. So you're going to need a sheet of paper, and you're going to need something to write with and something to color with. And I am going to turn my iPad over to this, and we will get started. Okay, you should see my desk. All right, now it's kind of hard to show you in this setup, but I do have my paper turned portrait style. So let me see if I can lift the head of my iPad up and then the mount of my iPad for a minute. So I have my paper turned portrait style. So it's going to go long ways on my desk. Okay, since we're drawing a face and the face is longer, we're not going to have it turned landscape like we did last week. Okay, let me pull this up here just a little bit so maybe it can help see maybe not. It's very heavy. This iPad's very heavy for this mount. Anyway, so I'll just try to keep an eye, make sure I move the paper around as much as I can so that you can see what's going on. To start out, we need a basic shape, and I'm going to do an oval. Now, I want to give you a hint here. Whenever you're drawing and a shape like a circle or an oval, try to use your entire arm. If you really concentrate with your wrist to make a circle or make a square, it's going to be harder to get a shape that you're going to like at first because it might be lopsided or it may not connect. So try to use your entire arm. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start about 3-4 fingers width down my page, and I'm just going to make an oval shape like that. It's not perfect, but it's closed up, and since this is abstract art, it'll be okay. We'll make it work, and I'm going to add things to it, so you probably won't even notice if it's not perfect later on. So this is my head that I'm starting with. That'll be my head. Let me move the paper down a little bit here so you can see. I want to give this abstract portrait person a neck of some kind, and I'm going to draw a curved line to connect it. So I've got curved line here, and then a curved line at the bottom to close it off. Let me show you that. Okay. All right. And I'm going to stop there with the drawing the neck and the rest of it. Well, you could go like this if you wanted to go ahead and add some shoulders. So I added some shoulders. Added some shoulders, just some curved lines going out horizontally. So let's work on the face. How am I going to draw an abstract face? Because I want to use exaggerated proportions. Now, I would not press very hard with my pencil. If I ever press harder and I have to erase, it's because I want you to see what's going on. So to do that, I am going to start with going down. I'm going to start with the center. And I'm thinking here, I want to kind of show you how you could maybe do this to show the two-sided view. So I'm actually going to start with this portrait by drawing the nose. So I'm imagining that there is a line going down the center of my oval shape. Does not have to be perfect because abstract art is not perfect or doesn't represent the real world. And I want to add a nose shape. So I'm going to make a line going down, and then I'm going to just kick it out to the side here. So it was going vertically, and then I kicked it out, curved it out a little bit, and then I might just drag it back over here and curve it up. If you have another idea for your nose, by all means, try it out. And then I kind of like how on that one abstract portrait I showed you, it kind of was double thickness of the line. So I want to do that too. You don't have to. If you've got another idea, go for it. Let me erase that line there. Alrighty. So let's get into those exaggerated proportions. I want to put some eyes on this person. So I'm going to start here, and this eye, I'm going to make it, I'm going to draw a curved line going up like that. And then I'm going to draw another curved line going down in a teardrop shape. And I want my eye. You could also just draw a circle if you wanted to, but this is kind of like an oval shape going in a different direction than the head. And then I want to add an eyelid. So I'm going to kind of draw a line across it to cut it in half. And I kicked it out there because I'm going to add some eyelashes. And you could go ahead and add some of these details right now. Normally I would add details later. When we do our realistic drawings, we probably will. And I want to give an iris to my eye, and then a pupil. And then this eye, I'm going to maybe draw it down here a little bit. So remember, exaggerated proportions, and they're not going to be as exact as you'd see in real life. Ooh, I drew my eyelid across for this one. You don't have to draw an eyelid if you don't want to. And I'm going to draw my eyelashes. And then this eye is going to be a little more closed, I believe. Okay. So I've got the eyes and the nose to make up my abstract portrait. Now I need to add a mouth. Okay, now I can kind of see my line that went down the center, and I want to add some lips. So I'm going to start with a curved line going out. I'm going to kick it out there at the side, and I'm going to try to draw it similarly on the opposite side. Okay, so I'm trying to draw a smile, even though a lot of these abstract portraits, nobody's smiling. I kind of don't like that. I'm going to draw a line going down and up. There's my mouth so far. Remember, abstract does not have to be realistic. And then I'm going to draw a line in the middle. Oops. To show that there's an upper lip and a bottom lip. Okay, so I've got the basis in there. If you want to give your portrait some ears, you can do that. And if you want to change the shape of your circle, you can do that. So I'm looking at this, I think I want to make it go up a little bit. You can do that too. I think I want it to be a little bit rounder at the top there. Actually, I don't need to really erasing that because I'm going to add some hair. So I want to add some hair to my portrait. And if you wanted to, you could add some earrings, ladies, if you wanted to, or gentlemen. You want to add earrings on yours too. Go for it. It's up to you. You don't have to, though. All right, so I might even just take the line that I originally drew and just go with it because it's going to be hard for me to erase because I press hard when I draw. So I'm going to draw some hair, and you could draw your hair however you want. Your hair could be going out. Your hair could be going down. So I'm going to draw a big curved line. Oops, it can go off the page. I went off the page there to represent my hair. And the hair on this side, I'm going to make the lines going down and kind of wavy or curved. And then I could continue it over here. And maybe over here on this side, I want to make, oops, I'm losing my lead there. The lines more zigzagged. Because honestly, my hair is either completely straight or it's completely undecided and frizzy and crazy. So this is pretty accurate. Okay, and actually if I could do it again, I would erase this line and I would just make the entire side here zigzaggy. And if zigzaggy is not a word, it is now. Alrighty. And you do not have to draw yours like this. You can do yours in whatever way suits you. I click coming off the page there, and that's okay. Don't be afraid to draw off the page. So there I have the basis for my abstract portrait. So, and I can add some designs here on the neck, like you saw in one of the examples. But the best part of abstract drawing is that we get to color. So you can color with whatever you want. There is no right or wrong that you can use. You may want to go through and outline it all in black first, but you do not have to. You could just color it in and then add the accents later if you wanted. So to start off with this, I'm going to start with the eyes, because often when I do a portrait or I'm drawing a face, I start with the eyes regardless if it is abstract or not. So to start with the eyes, remember they don't have to be realistic. I like the color green, so I'm going to go with a green color for my eye over here. And, you know, for my other eye, I might make it a different color green. So how about this spring green? Because I do like all different shades of green, actually. So you could pick a color that you like to see a lot if you wanted to. You don't have to, though. And let's see here. Then I also might do the eyelids in purple. I might make this one purple, I might make the other one pink. So I like pink too sometimes. And then I am going to add, I'm going to show you how we can go ahead and add some accents. So I'm going to add the pupil of my eye. And I might go around the iris in black too. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the eyelashes and connect it. Okay, and you can add some eyelashes at the bottom too if you wanted to. That's just how I'm choosing to do it. And you know what? My person doesn't have any eyebrows, and I have eyebrows. I have very dark eyebrows, actually. So I'm going to have to add some eyebrows to my person. I think I'm going to add a purple eyebrow. I mean, because why not? There's a purple eyebrow there. Oops, and I just lost the lid of my, or the tip of my marker because I pressed too hard. So that means my other eyebrow is going to have to be a different color. It says I just lost the tip of my marker. Okay, so this is going to be a burgundy color because that is what I grabbed first. So I'm going to have two different color eyebrows on my person. That kind of stinks because I like that color purple. Oh well. Okay. So now I want to draw the, or on a color in the nose. And to do the nose, I think I'm going to do a, let's see here. I might do an orange. It's an orange, yes. Macaroni and cheese. Oh, I always grab this one. That's me because I want macaroni and cheese and I don't realize it. So I'm going to color in my shape that represents my nose. And then I might go around that with a dark blue. Since blue and orange are complementary colors. Now for the mouth. I think I might go with this red, what's magenta? The color in the mouth in the magenta. You could do yours any color you want. Maybe you want to have blue lips. Hey, that's cool. And again, you could accent that with a darker color or a marker. Now, if you use colored pencils a lot of the time, that is fine. I have found that I think that crayon and marker just show up better when I record these for you. That's why I tend to use them for these projects. But yeah, most of what I draw is actually in colored pencil. But you need that. I'm going to add some dots on the nose here just for interest. Okay, and then let's see here. I do love the color green. So how about if I just go ahead and take a green here, help color in the earring part. And let's see. I think now I want to head on to the, let's do the, let's outline the eyelids. And then I might go ahead and outline the ears. So I want to make sure that I don't color over some areas that I want to make sure stand out. So I might even outline her face. And we can go back in and color block the face. I just want to make sure I get all the features that I want to do first. Okay, so for the hair, this doesn't have to be realistic, so I'm trying to find a color that would stand out. Ooh, I found another purple. Yay! Sorry for the little bit of noise there. All right, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and outline the hair. And I did a zigzag line for the hair. So I'm going to just go through and I'm going to go ahead and do some zigzags. Kind of ran off the page there, so I won't go all the way over there. So I've got the hair outlined on that side. And then let's see, how about ooh, I like this one. Do a dark blue over here. So I'm going to use the space in between, I'm going to do like a lighter color. Oops. All right. So I've got that. Add some zigzags there. And I might go ahead and also outline my neck and shoulders. It's kind of cool how you can start with a blank page of paper and suddenly it starts to become something very unique. All right, so I mentioned that you can add different patterns. So on the neck here, like you saw in one of the examples, I'm going to add that spirally line pattern here. Then I might add another, a wavy line there. And I might go in and add hot pink dots. Move this down here so you can see what I'm doing. And I might do some for the space that you see elsewhere. I might take this purple and do some larger dots. I could go like this. And you could do any type of design or pattern you want. Okay. And then for the in-between, I could take a dark blue. You don't have to choose all the different colors. I'm just showing you all the different options. And because I love color. So I could define those. And then I could spend the rest of my time going in the rest of it with my crayons. And if you do this all in one medium and all in colored pencil, that's fine. I just like how that stands out to you. So then this is where you can really just let loose with all the color and design things you could possibly want to try out. So I've got a yellow orange here, and I think I'm going to start, since that's a good contrasting color, for blue, because they're kind of complementary, or yeah, complementary colors. I'm going to start with some sections here. Using that color. Now I am going to go back in at the end after I have all this done, and I'm going to color block the face a little bit so you can see how that would look. But yeah, just have fun. Be like, woohoo! All right, and then let's see, you're over here. I want to do, let's try this. Spring green. Nah, I want to do spring green. I don't know if that would show up too great. How about a lavender? No, spring green. We'll just do spring green after all. Since I did a complementary color here, I'll just do a complementary color over here. All right. Just going to continue this down the page. And let me do this in here. So are you convinced that you're an artist yet? I mean, abstract art is kind of empowering. You say, whoa, I can draw after all. And then our next lesson together will be kind of Valentine-y, but we're going to continue with the idea of drawing faces. So our next stop is drawing people. We're going to practice drawing. We're going to learn how to draw them realistically, or as realistically as we can. So then my other spaces in between, I could shake things up, and I love this wild strawberry color. So I'm going to use that over here. And then over here, I'm really feeling a blue. I don't know why, but I like this robin's egg blue, and I just want an excuse to use it. Ooh, I've got another zigzaggy spot there. I'll go back and get that. Here, I might just try this green here, and I'll fill in this spot right here. It's kind of a good mesh between those two colors. Okay. Now what you can do, if you'd like, you can add different designs on top of any of your blank spaces or any of your spaces in between. So if I wanted to add a dotted line or a dashed line going through the hair here, I could do that. Or you could add some dots or polka dots. Oops, I keep hitting the side of the mount here. Not the best little setup, but it works. Okay, so we're really filling up the page now. Now let's work on any of the sections in here. So you can just start to color block, which means you start filling in different sections in different colors. And if you did marker in certain sections, you can just color over it with a lighter crayon or colored pencil. And like I said, you get to pick here. No one's going to say, oh, you probably shouldn't put that together, because there are no rules. So I'm going to finish coloring in the neck and then the clothing here. Let me move this up a little bit so you can see how I'm finishing this off. And then let's see here. I could actually continue with my circles or half circles. And a couple more here, if you'd like. And then I could fill that in with maybe some pink. Then we're going to color block the face in. And then if you want to, I'll show you how you could add some, easily add some designs to your background. But if you liked leaving the background behind your self-portrait blank or white, that is fine too. All right, so I'm going to color block the face. And let's see here. I haven't used my yellow yet because I broke it and it's now teeny tiny. That always happens to the colors we like the best. But I'm going to add some yellow to the ears so they stand out. And then for the face, I think I'm going to add some pink cheeks. Pink cheek there. And maybe a pink cheek here. Could have made them two different colors if I wanted to. And I might go around the outline in that. And another pink. And I could continue coloring this in. Let's see here. So I could color in the different sections wherever they don't, wherever they connect. Even if I connect just a little bit more there, that kind of gives me another section. So I'm going to color this in. Let's see. I'm going to pick lighter colors just so they show up or they don't take away from what I've got started. All right, so I'm going to maybe use a light green here. And then I might use a light blue up here. And I am just mixing it up. Let's see, how about, could go back with that. No, I don't like that color. See, it's okay to have colors that you prefer over others. Let me go back and add some yellow up in here. Oh, I like how the yellow snakes the eye stand out. I'm going to use the yellow this entire section. I might start with a macaroni and cheese again, because no, I'd use that. I did that for the nose. No, get away from the macaroni and cheese, Mrs. Spinagle. How about a apricot peach? There's just so many colors. Oh, it's like I got color paralysis because there's so many of them. Might do a oh, put that macaroni and cheese down. Leave that color alone. How about sometimes we can have too many choices, but that's okay. Sometimes that means we're just having fun, and fun is allowed. Do purple. All right, so we have colored in, or we have finished our abstract self-portrait. You can continue to add to the background if you'd like. Maybe you just want to add some stripes. Stripes would be an easy, or some vertical lines in your background. Or maybe you want to add some wavy lines. Oops, I kind of lost my... Or you could maybe even add some dashed or dotted. Well, I just did orange. Don't do that again. You could add some dashes. And if you wanted to add like different animals or anything else in the background, you could certainly do that too. Okay, but there you go. You can see that this was not, you were a little worried about coloring, or creating rather, a self-portrait. You can see it wasn't that scary a thing, was it? It was just using your imagination and having some fun. And even I had fun creating this because there were no really big rules that we had to follow. We didn't have to worry about it looking just so. I'm just showing you how you can fill up the page with color. It is actually really fun to make things look so bright and interesting. So I hope that you like this, and if not, well, we all have different likes and dislikes. I just hope you were able to enjoy thinking about something else for a few minutes. So we have one more lesson for abstract art, and it's really not abstract. It's more pop art, okay? So our lesson next week is going to be more pop art. It'll be for Valentine's Day. It'll be very Valentine-y. I promise you'll love it. No pun intended. So here is my abstract portrait. I can't wait to see yours. Be sure to upload it on Schoology. Have a super week, my friends. I will talk to you soon.